From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. Satoshi with his vision, decentralization and proof of one, Bitcoin was born. You feel the shift beneath your feet. Peer to peer, we break the blockchain, we meet. Trust in code, not in the same. We are all Satoshi, this is what we've all been waiting for. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain, tick-tock, next block. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin the path we made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi, we are Bitcoin. This system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Hey-ya, hey-ya. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah. And we won't let go. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain. Tick-tock, next block, every 10 minutes. Bitcoin, the path we've made. Whoa, the path we've made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi and we are Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. He gave birth to a new dawn. Birth to a new dawn. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. Satoshi with his vision, decentralization and proof of one, Bitcoin was born. You feel the shift beneath your feet. Peer to peer, we break the blockchain, we meet. Trust in code, not in the same. We are all Satoshi, this is what we've all been waiting for. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain, tick-tock, next block. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin the path we made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi, we are Bitcoin. This system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Hey-ya, hey-ya. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah. And we won't let go. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain. Tick-tock, next block, every 10 minutes. Bitcoin, the path we've made. Whoa, the path we've made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi and we are Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. He Give birth to a new dawn. Birth to a new dawn.
From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. Satoshi with his vision, decentralization and proof of one, Bitcoin was born. You feel the shift beneath your feet. Peer to peer, we break the blockchain we meet. Trust in code, not in the same. We are all Satoshi, this is what we've all been waiting for. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain, tick-tock, next block. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin the path we made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi, we are Bitcoin. This system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Hey-ya, hey-ya, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. And we won't let go. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain. Tick-tock, next block, every 10 minutes. Bitcoin, the path we've made. Whoa, the path we've made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi and we are Bitcoin. This system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. He gave birth to a new dawn. Birth to a new dawn. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. Satoshi with his vision, decentralization and proof of one, Bitcoin was born. You feel the shift beneath your feet. Peer to peer, we break the blockchain we meet. Trust in code, not in the same. We are all Satoshi, this is what we've all been waiting for. Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain, tick-tock, next block. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin the path we made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi, we are Bitcoin. This system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Hey-ya, hey-ya, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. And we won't let go.
Together we trust, together we hold. One block, one chain. Tick tock, next block every 10 minutes. Bitcoin, the path we've made. Whoa, the path we've made. Together we build, together we grow. We are all Satoshi and we are Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this system's alive and we won't let go. And we won't let go. From the shadows of the cyberpunks, Satoshi gave birth to a new dawn. He gave birth to a new dawn. Birth to a new dawn.
Hello everyone, here we are again as every Saturday or every week with our friend Batistoshi. We are going to talk about Bitcoin treasury companies. There was not too many news this week. I think that
people are on vacation, Fernando.
It's on vacation because, and probably people are more aware of the World Cup. I don't know, but there were not too much news this week. Bitcoin is around 64,000 US dollars. Similar to last weekend. And again, not too many news, but we are going to discuss everything here with our friend Batistoshi. How are you doing?
Yeah, guys, happy to be back. So, yeah, all good on my side.
How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Let's see if we can extract some kind of information out of a quiet week.
Yes, out of a quiet week. I think that the biggest news from the Bitcoin treasuries and the Bitcoin space was Saylor announcing that they increase the cash reserve to 3 billion US dollars. Now they have 20.4 months to pay dividends to pay. So, and the reaction, I don't know. I want to discuss what you think. When Saylor shared the graphic on Sunday night here in Hong Kong, everyone who say, "Oh, Saylor will keep buying Bitcoin." I thought that he was not going to buy Bitcoin. I want to hear your thoughts about the increase of the cash reserve because it didn't have any effect on stretch. Didn't come back to par. The variation was few. I think that lost a little bit on the price. So I want to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think Stretch is still trading around 85. Let me check the last closing. Yeah, around $85. So I think it's very close to the initial offering that they did 1 year ago. I think they launched the product around 80 or 85. So it's like, yeah, still pretty down from the 100 par. That's the target. And again, as we said, I think strategy now is listening more to the institutions because they want to get included into probably the S&P 500 index, and then they want to gain more favor in terms of those big players. And those big players said to them that first they need to have a cash reserve to back the dividends, because for traditional finance is the most important metric to have this kind of liquidity ready. And I think the second point was to demonstrate to the public that they can use Bitcoin as capital. So in case of a problem, to sell Bitcoin to defend the preferred offerings. So I think strategy is just executing what Wall Street and the institution wants them to do in order to have better credit rating, to have better credit overall for the company and potentially get included. And Stretch, I think that it will go back to par when also Bitcoin will rally or will see some more strength. Because at the end of the day, Stretch is a product, but is based also on the broader Bitcoin space and the value of Bitcoin itself. So I think we are seeing strategy following what the institution tells them. And I think, again, as a public company, you have to listen also to this cohort of people, not just Bitcoiners. And Stretch will gain more strength when Bitcoin will be out of this bear market, in my view.
Yeah, I will disagree with the reading and the actions being taken here with the increase in the $3 billion for the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because, well, it is the common narrative is, as you describe it, is because institutions want to have a safe net for the payment of the dividends. But to contrast that, on the other hand, we know that the buyers of Stretch are still mostly retail.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we talking to in that case? Right? If 80% is retail and 20% is the institutional investors,
Mm-hmm.
and the request, let's say Saylor go to Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan and say, we promise to buy some more Stretch if this happens, which I believe maybe it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
But they are still not moving the needle, right? If Morgan Stanley will come up with 10 billion to buy the Stretch, then it's a significant number. And then if I could be Saylor, I say, okay, now I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna give you the 3 billion backup. You put tomorrow $10 billion, right? That would be the kind of negotiation that makes sense. Otherwise, if it is, well, in the future your rating is going to increase. Maybe next year, if things go right, the strategy is going to be included in the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something to the future. In reality, I think, and it was demonstrated this week, the increase in the amount of US dollar reserve have zero impact on the price of Stretch. It didn't have any. In fact, it has a negative if we read it right. I think Stretch in one of these days dropped 2.5% from 89 to 85 at some point, even after putting these 3 billion in the reserve. So it doesn't have any meaningful effect. Which I wonder is what would have happened if those $500 million that they used to buy to put it on the reserves, they would have buy back Stretch. That would most likely would have an immediate impact on the price, at least temporarily. You will see some reaction to your action instead of like, put it there because someone told me that it would be good in next year. It doesn't make sense to me to have spent this 500 million for something that is so fragile at this point.
Yes, and on the other side, we have to remember how did everything started with Saylor having 500 million US as a melting ice cube, buying all in on Bitcoin, and now he has 3 billion, 6 times more as a melting ice cube. And again, as Diego said, market does not reflect that they like the news because Saylor increased as they wanted and price dropped.
Yeah, it's also possible that they foresee maybe an overextended period of this bear market, maybe, and they are afraid that maybe the MNAV goes way below 1, because again, during the entirety of this bear market, the strategy MNAV was always almost above 1. So maybe they are foreseeing a potential window, maybe 1, 2, 3 months in which the common goes way below 1. It's possible. So they want to play super safe and say, you know what? Now we have the cash. In the short term, to have some pile of cash is not that bad because they can also decide in one day just to buy back everything. So they want to say to the market, look, guys, we have the money for, let's say, 2 years. If the Bitcoin bear market goes much further, that it's not my base case, and I'm pretty sure it's not a strategy base case, but in case we get this prolonged bad situation, we have the cash. They can literally go to sleep and just wake up in 2 years, and they still have everything operational. So I think it's just, in my view, super safe from their side. But again, if the situation will change, they have 3 billion. They can say, okay, let's buy back, as Diego said, 500 million of Stretch tomorrow. Let's buy back 500 million of MSTR maybe the day after. and they still have 2 billion, which is more than the 12 months that they had in their own guidelines. So again, I think to have some cash in summer period where Bitcoin is still in an uncertain situation, I think it's not the end of the world, because again, they can deploy 1 billion in one day. So I agree, it didn't reflect on the price of Stretch, but I think the market wants to be more reassured that there is this buffer. And again, it's a new instrument, so maybe they need to understand if 3 billion, maybe I agree, it's too much. Maybe 1 billion or going below 1 billion to rebuy back convertible debt was too low. So maybe the reality is the truth is something in between.
That's exactly the point that I point out, because it's not measurable.
Yeah.
How much is too much? How much is too little? At some point, not long ago, we have zero reserves, and everything was working fine. Then we had
in a bull run, so market didn't care.
Then we have 2 billion, and the market didn't care. It was printing as crazy.
Yeah.
Then we have 1 billion. Then the price dropped. So there's so many moving parts that you cannot identify. It's because the market think the reserve of cash are too low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nobody can measure that. So it's not reliable for me to concede that you need more, because then it will be a never ending. The market needs more.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point are we going to stop with this bullshit?
Do you think that this is a little bit of a reaction from strategy side?
I think they received so many complaints, and again, Stretch, to be honest, went down from par very, very sharply, and it stayed above from 100, probably more than they expect. Probably there was too much euphoria months ago when every day they can buy, I don't know, they can sell 10 or 50 millions of Stretch by the day and buy Bitcoin. Maybe it was a bit too much optimistic. Now I think we are a bit too much on the depression side. I think it's 1 year old, the product. It's one of the best product they launch, strategy by far, but also in terms of preferred offering ever. And again, the market needs to digest, react, understand what's the cash buffer, understand how the correlation with Bitcoin, understand amplification, understand how much this trading volume might impact the price. So I think, as Diego said, there are too many variables in place. From their side, they try to control what they can control. They saw that the MNAV was still way above 1, and they say, okay, let's take this cash. If Bitcoin goes down, if there is a flash crash, MSTR goes below 1, we are fine. And just wait. I think now they buy time. They bought time with this cash buffer. And then if in 3 months they will realize that it's too much, I think they will be more than happy to buy Bitcoin or to buy back some of the securities that they have.
The other point was that, for people who are still expecting a Bitcoin drop, what happened this week with the stock market and Bitcoin, it's very telling to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The whole AI narrative looks like collapsing, at least temporarily, in terms of stock appreciation, not in terms of the actual demand for chips and memories and semiconductors in general. That never changed. It's going to the roof. There is no enough manufacturing facilities for that.
Mm-hmm.
But what it indeed changed, it was the narrative of the market. So Micron went from 1,300 to 800. Alab, I think Tesla was also impacted. So most of the AI players suffer a lot this week. And usually when that happens, in general in the market, not only AI, Bitcoin also suffer because of the correlation with Nasdaq. Mm-hmm. Instead, this week Nasdaq dropped quite a lot. Bitcoin hold the 64K line. So that's another telling to me that we already got to the bottom 60K, asking for less than this against so many bad news, and still you can push Bitcoin further than the 60K line. It's part of the story that we actually reached the bottom for Bitcoin. So coming back,
and we call it since February,
yeah.
The 59 level, we call it since February. So
and it dropped 3 times to that level. So it's but also this week was another support, let's call it, for Bitcoin, because in normal conditions in previous months, what happened in the stock market was a trigger for Bitcoin sell-off also. Instead, we hold it around 64. So that's pretty good news.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that the button is in. And what do you think that strategy should do from now on? They should start to make an announcement every week. I think that we get accustomed to get announcements every week. So they should make announcements every week, or they just like, okay, we are here, we keep paying the dividends, and when Bitcoin is going up, we are gonna come back and we are gonna shut up all the haters.
Yeah, I think again, they on one side they have been too much transparent. They've been too much, telling too many information that other companies, listed companies, are just doing every quarter. So it's like a double-edged sword. So you can have on one side a lot of benefit, but also negative side, especially on X, especially on sentiment. And again, as Diego said before, Stretch is mainly driven by retail, and retail are more sensitive to this kind of information, flows of information also from social media. So I think if they now just slow down a bit, it wouldn't be for me a bad signal. Actually, would be maybe a better signal, because you go on the website, you can see all the metrics, all the numbers. They are over collateralized. They have 20 plus months of reserve. Literally, the management can go to sleep and come back in mid of 2027, or maybe by the end of 2027, and the company will be completely fine. So maybe yes, now just wait for the summer to get to the end of summer. Probably Bitcoin will gain a bit more attention and traction by maybe end of Q3, beginning of Q4. And again, once the narrative on Bitcoin start to change, the narrative on strategy start to change. So again, we just need to have Bitcoin back to some kind of strength level, and then strategy will be fine. Again, we didn't discuss, but Strife, which is the senior claim on Stretch, is back in 96. So it's very close to 100, because we need to remember that the difference between Stretch and SETA from Strive is that Stretch has another preferred on top of it, which is more senior to it, which is Strive, and Strive is almost close to par. So again, if Strives go climbing to par, then next would be Stretch climbing to par. Whereas for Strive, they have cleaner balance sheet. They only have SETA, and SATA is closer to 100. But again, Strive is telling us something. It might need more time, but I think the direction is the right one.
The other data point that we saw this week was the volume was much less in the last days. I think Stretch traded 80 million against the 300 million average, and even MSTR that was trading around 2.6 billion per day traded 1 billion. So this is also a reflection of the quiet summertime for Wall Street, where there is just less money in Wall Street to trade. And probably that's also a reflection of why it's been so hard these months to bring the prices up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
To add, I think, good point, Diego. And also Bitcoin, I see on the coin market cap, I think the last 24 hours is around 20 billion, when normally when I see the data, it's like 40, 50. So it's like more than 50% down the volume. And also USDT, which is the liquidity on the crypto space, normally is way above 100 billion, and now it's 44. So I think it's summertime. Everybody is not on the trading desk, and people are enjoying, hopefully, summer. There is less money also available if you need to spend $10,000 to have a 1 week trip somewhere. So I think it's a weakness, but again, at some point, or maybe 10,000 to watch the game for the final. So people are spending money, and if you spend a lot of money, you have less money for the hardest asset ever created. So
my cousin lives in New York. He went to the semifinal, and now he wants to go to the final. They are asking for 10K for a ticket.
Yeah, I know.
To the final. And the other day I saw on Instagram they were promoting some trip from Buenos Aires to New York, two nights, flight, of course, in economy.
Price.
and the tickets for the match, and it's like 18,000 US dollars for 2 days in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, they pay for the NBA finals more than that, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, regarding the volumes in the market, someone in the Telegram group today sent a screenshot of what's happening with Bitcoin in the last 12 hours. It's a deadline, flat line like that.
Yeah.
It's very suspicious. He said it's just that first, Bitcoin is in the last years trading at the rhythm of Wall Street or Asia markets or Europe or European markets. So outside of these areas from Monday to Friday is also flat. On the weekend, this flatness get more is more obvious on top of the summer in America time. So yeah, it's just quiet times for everybody.
Anyways, whoever happened to the final of the World Cup, Spain became champion in 2010, and Bitcoin went up around 100 something percent next year. No, 1,000 something percent the following year. Argentina was champion 2022, and following year was, I think, 150 something the price of Bitcoin. So whoever wins the World Cup, the only things we know is Bitcoin is gonna go up.
Yeah. Still available the theory of the Fourier cycle then, apparently.
I don't think so.
No, me neither. But yeah, the number.
Something you can pick up any bullshit of
Yeah,
the moment, like the World Cup or
whatever.
There was a typhoon in Bangladesh, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that this is another signal. Twitter is calm. A lot of content creators are creating bullshit. Are just they posting fake news or bringing news from the past to generate engagement. Again, I agree with you. It's summer. People thinking in other things. When summer is over, Bitcoin will go up, and all the things that were talked in the last weeks against strategy, Saylor, whatever, go to nothing. So, what else do we have to discuss? You said me that you had another thing that wanted to discuss. Let me check.
Yeah, I think it was related to a post from Luke Gromen about the two scenarios that the Fed and the Treasury has in front of their eyes. So maybe let me find it back, the tweet, this one, and we can discuss together.
Today we don't have any noise.
This one.
But the neighbors had noise in the night of the other day. And I hope they have on Monday night.
Yeah, today, no noise, and it seems very quiet, guys. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think this it's very, very simple for like simple people like us to understand, what's the scenario, and we try to remove all the nonsense, noise, and financial overcomplication that normally Wall Street and finance people love to attach to their own arguments. So I think Luke Gromen really summarized pretty well realistically only the two options that the Federal Reserve and the US government has in the front of their eyes for the next 12, 24 months, which actually itself, it's really easy to understand what will be the path forward. So the first post is this one, in which they said that, again, the Fed wants to look dovish, to say that we don't want to blow up the fiscal deficit. We cannot. We want to increase the interest rate because we don't want inflation to spike, etc. Or we have the other options, the hawkish view, in which if they say again we will increase the interest rate and we want to become more fiscally responsible. As you can see here, those two lines will go much further apart. So again, on one side they want to look strong. On one side they want to look that again the Fed is now changing their own agenda. They will be much more tough on market, etc. But if you see the data, if they follow this trajectory, the fiscal deficit will be almost impossible to close, because those two lines will go even further apart. So in a very simple way, the only possible strategy will be the first one, which again will be at the end of the year. Probably they will decrease the interest rate, and they will try to be more accommodative as possible for the government, because otherwise those lines will become much further away, and they cannot literally recover from this situation. So again, they will try to explain, change the committee, change the way they speak, change all the things. But at the end of the day, they will somehow print the money, because the market needs this, because the US government needs to refinance 10 trillion in debt. And because at the end of the day, the Fed is not independent, and they need to collaborate in the possible best way for the ruling class of America, and for and by extension also in other central banks. So again, I think they will not increase interest rate; they will decrease, and they will move this regulation out to the private bank, so that they can lend money and create money creation. So I think nothing will literally change with this new regime at the Fed.
Even if inflation increase?
I mean, now they're working on this, new committee. Probably they will change how they define inflation, what's the basket of goods behind inflation. But again, if you see the oil now, it's below starting of the war. So again, I think oil is the major driver for inflation. And to be honest, today the price of oil is not very high. So I think they can manage it, and at the end of the day, it's more important to have this fiscal situation under control, and they will cheat again, they will lie again, and say, yeah, the inflation is 2%, but the inflation we know it's like 5, 6, 7 over the last 50 years. So I think they will need to print the money anyway.
Yeah, well, the money printing never stops. There is no fix to this Ponzi scheme called the fiat system. This is all over the world, right? Obviously, the Fed, it's the leading indicator here, but it happens in every country at different scales all the time. There is no way to stop this money printing train. That is the only solution that governments have to survive. If they stop this, or if they try to impose a realistic solution like the one that Milei tried in Argentina, it will just contribute to a faster collapse, at least in the short term. So yeah, there is no solution. It doesn't matter if inflation goes up, down, in circles. Money printing will never stop. That's one of the theories that Bitcoin have regarding why the price of Bitcoin should go up forever, right? Regardless that we might be in bear markets for longer periods of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I think that if I have to take something, I would say that they wouldn't do nothing to the rates this year, but the money printing will continue, because you cannot stop this train. You cannot stop this. You cannot say, okay, I stop printing money, and what's going to happen? The world will collapse. So the only thing is like put more coal to the fire, keep the fire going, and pass the problem to the next administration. So that's what is happening.
Yeah,
and
because
today I saw that the United States debt hit 39.5 trillion US. We are close to 40 trillion.
Someone already projected that by the time Trump is gone, it's going to
in the
reach
office,
50 trillion.
And it's like it's 2 years and a half away. So it's going to increase on
25%.
Like 10 times the Bitcoin market cap. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So when you see that, you know that Bitcoin is gonna go up forever. That's the main thesis, and Bitcoin and the treasuries, and it's mandatory now. It's not like optional to have Bitcoin, because if you don't have Bitcoin in the future, your money will disappear. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think another important factor is that people only think about interest rate, but again, interest rate is just one lever that the Federal Reserve can use to be more accommodative on the monetary policy or more restrictive. But again, also with the old deregulation for the banks, we already see that the monetary supply increased over the last year and a half. We are the M2 supply of the US, I think, is more than 20 trillion already. So it's already increasing in a new all-time high fashion, even though the interest rates are high. And again, because they are not only, they have so many optional tools, and again, they will maybe keep the interest rate at this level until the end of the year, but the monetary base is increasing, and then probably next year they will try to decrease. But again, as Diego said, we will go to 50 trillion in 2 years and a half. So of course, Bitcoin and scarce asset gold as well will do pretty well, because again, when you compare to a denominator that is going to irrelevance or to zero, the numerator is going to value much more.
Yeah, and remember also that it's not 100% a government-only thing or central bank-only thing, right? The increase in the money supply, it's also because of the fractional reserve system. So it's the system that the governance for the banks, right? If they can create out of nothing 9 times whatever they have in deposits, that's part of the core of the mechanism for what that more money all the time in the system, and there is no way to stop it unless you come up with something like a system. Well, actually exists, it's Bitcoin, right? You come up with a system that is 1-to-1. Whatever you have, that's all you have. There is no money creation in any sense, not through the banking system, not through the central banks. So that's the solution. Actually, that's one of the aspects that the guys who cover the face will push through. But that is so far away to be an opposition to the current system that I don't have much hopes on it yet. Most likely, the only way to fight is trying to impose Bitcoin through the financial system, first embedded in this banking system that is corrupt under all these mechanisms that the fractional reserve and whatever the governments and the Federal Reserve is trying to do to control interest rate and the economy and all this bullshit. But eventually, Bitcoin will provide that. Bitcoin will actually demonstrate that it's a superior system, but it's a battle that needs to be fight from the inside, not from the outside.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think that we don't have anything else to talk. I don't know if you want to point anything else, or we are.
No, maybe just a reflection, because about what Diego said about the system, the fractional reserve, etc. Is that I agree. Majority of the money creation is done by the private banking system, not by the Federal Reserve or by the BCE. So my point is that what I'm witnessing in I think in Europe, but in Italy even more, because we always been a very saving-based country. So our culture was, okay, you earn money, you save majority of it, and you live with the rest. After COVID, what I'm seeing very, very clear in my mind is that this mentality shifted into a more debt-based economy, into a more spending economy, much more similar to the US system. And what I'm witnessing here is that people now go into debt for very silly stuff, like, for example, to finance their own vacation, to finance a over-expensive car, or I don't know if it's true also in Argentina, but in Italy now it starts to become popular to have 40 years mortgage, 40.
No, in Argentina it's
We don't even have
5-year mortgage.
Yeah, because of the peso. But again, in Italy,
you can get a loan.
Is crazy. 40 years is crazy. Because again, they want to create this fake stability by extending the terms. But again, when you start to have 40 years mortgage and the people subscribing the mortgage is 35, it means that until 75 is not the real owner of the house, and normally you die at 83, 84 in Italy. So again, it's just another way the Ponzi system is going to enslave people. But again, it's just my final thought on this topic, that we are moving into this debt system also in country where the saving were very, very important for generation and generations.
Yeah, of course, we know that we already know, and the people who follow us know that the fiat Ponzi scheme has destroyed everything, even the football, because even though the World Cup, I'm happy with Argentina. You see that it's not the same as it was in the good old days, where it was totally different. So, and coming to an end, I want to talk a little bit about the World Cup final. Marco, what do you think about? Are we gonna reach Italy with 4 stars, or Spain is gonna reach France and get close to Argentina?
I don't know. I would vote for your national team, guys. So I think Argentina will win. Messi will become the legend of the legend. There will be no discussion about who's the best player ever played, and yes, and Spain will go home without the World Cup. That's my suggestion. I know that you are scaramantic and you don't comment on that, but yeah, I think Argentina will do it.
I don't comment, but I want to point. I don't want to say a result, but what I'm seeing in Argentina now is something that I was telling before recording, that is similar to that team on 1990. That is not the same as the one in Qatar. I'm sure that the one in Qatar will destroy Spain. No, we'll win. Will destroy Spain. Now we don't have Di Maria. We, of course, the heroes from Qatar are older, and there is a new generation of guys that are coming. And Spain, from that time to now, they add many good players. I think that Spain is in a much better position. We are the underdogs, but Argentina showed to the world this World Cup that we are not gonna give up. So that's my feeling, and that's my hope to become champion before going to the long nap, because as Bitcoin gurus say, there is no cycles on Bitcoin, but there are cycles in football. What we are seeing now happening with Italy and Brazil and probably Germany happened to Argentina before. And I think that this is going to be the last World Cup that we are going to enjoy. So I want to, until I become old, and I want to enjoy the last, the 4 stars. So let's see. What do you think?
If Argentina players remember that they have to play for 90 minutes and not for 10, then they are superior to Spain. If they insist on just being lazy, then Argentina is going to be in trouble, and Spain is going to get the second star.
You know, the problem is that Argentina cannot play more than 10 minutes because it's the only amount of money we have to pay. So as they say that we pay FIFA to favor us, we only have 10 minutes, guys. So that's the point. I heard that we are sending
unlimited money printer in Argentina. The money printer is not unlimited.
We pay in US dollars or Bitcoin. We cannot pay in pesos. It's crap. You have easy with euros. So, anyways, I hope whatever the result is, I hope it's a good match. It's a good people who go to the stadium enjoy it, and I hope that Italy is back next World Cup, because we cannot be without Italy anymore. Brazil is back. Germany is back. So
yeah, maybe for the next World Cup, FIFA will put 200 teams. So maybe we can enter because of that. I don't know.
No qualifications.
No qualifications.
Yeah, everybody enters. So
they want to extend the next World Cup to.
I give you a better idea. Let's play female and male football all together.
Maybe we have a chance to win then. Maybe.
Well, Italy, the female team has qualified. I think that in the last female World Cup.
No football, Fernando. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's not football. Who cares about that?
What, the other day? No. Who cares? Spain says that we have already 2 stars because they are the world champion in women football. So I don't like Argentina.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
women has to play hockey, men have to play football. So that's the point. So Marco, again, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next week when we gather again, Bitcoin is up, strategy is up, and the stars in our t-shirt are up. So
I hope for you.
Anyway,
I hope for you.
anyways, but whoever wins, we all need to understand that Bitcoin always wins. So that's the good point. Marco, thank you very much. Remember to our audience, remind to our audience how do they can reach you.
Yeah, only on X and at Battistoshi93.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Marco, and thank you very much to everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, follow Marco on social media, because doing so, you help us a lot in painting the world orange. See you in the next episode. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember, we are all Satoshi. ¿Qué pasa? No hay, no sé, no está el...